top with pretty Lavinia and unwed Henry, who brings about Hurricane Katrina and the price of progress. We will that Appalachian crab by the river's edge. There's a storm coming, but it ain't that Carolina drama. That's Alabama bound. It's murder ballads that's coming to town.
Welcome, your country diggers. Welcome to the Speakeasy. Today is a request by D-Spud, Carpetbaggers, and I'm going to be singing the song Carpetbagger Song by Richie Owens and the Farm Bureau. I'm going to leave out one of the sentences because it doesn't have the lyrics with it, and I can't understand that sentence. So I'm leaving out one sentence in it. But I will be reading also from the 64parishes.org website, Carpetbaggers and Scalawags by Ted Tunnell. All right, stay tuned. All right, the Carpetbagger song. They came to my town in Nashville, Tennessee. All they said they wanted was opportunity. Took away my chances, they planted the seed. Deep in the night, they took away my life from me. Another carpetbagger has come to my town. Another carpetbagger taking all that's not nailed down. Another carpetbagger promising with lies. Another carpetbagger laughing while I died. You can recognize them by the swagger in their walk. Smell the aromatic pastures when they talk. And their ability to turn diamonds into dust. Another carpetbagger has come to my town. Another carpetbagger taking what's not nailed down. Another carpetbagger promising with lies. Another carpetbagger laughing while I died. Another carpetbagger laughing while I died. All right, that was the Carpetbagger song by Richie Owens and the Farm Bureau on their album Tennessee. I also put it on my playlist on YouTube and my Folks on playlist on YouTube. And the Carpetbagger was a comic song for the times. It was composed by T.E. Garrett, Esquire, and music was by Alfred Von Rothschild in 1868. Different lyrics, but about the same, I guess. Anyway, 64parishes.org I'll be reading from. Carpetbaggers and Scalawags. Carpetbagger and Scalawag are derisive epithets, which Southern Democrats or conservatives applied to white Republicans or radicals during Congressional or Radical Reconstruction. Carpetbagger referred to Republicans who had recently migrated from the North. Scalawag referred to Southern-born radicals. Words such as carpetbagger and scalawag are ideographs, symbolic words, so Renaissance with political imagery and meaning that they influence political behavior. As such, they were invaluable to the White South's counter-Reconstruction movement that commenced within months of the Reconstruction Act of March 2nd, 1867, and lasted with only periodic abatement until the last Republican governments in the South were overturned in 1877. Like Radical Reconstruction itself, Counter-Reconstruction was structured around ideology or worldview. As ideas, carpetbaggers and scalawags were key components of that counter-Reconstruction worldview. The words depicted the white advocates of Reconstruction as disgraced and degraded men who put themselves on a level with black people. To defeat such villains, the end justified the means: fraud, intimidation, and terrorist death squads. Modern historians have long since discredited the White South's morality play depictions of carpetbaggers and scalawags, and would, if they could, dispense with the words themselves. But the words are embedded in the history of the era. Historians still use them, devoid of their negative associations. Radical change. The Reconstruction Act, the basis of radical Reconstruction, instructed the former Confederate states to elect delegates to constitutional conventions and adopt new constitutions. The ensuing conventions of 1867 and 1869 were overwhelmingly Republican in party, identity, and culture. For Southerners, white and black, Republican and Democrat, these bodies marked the real beginnings of radicalism. It was in these bodies that black suffrage and civil rights became real issues to be debated and voted on. It was in these bodies that black politicians, northern newcomers, and native-born radicals began to exert real power. It was in response to these conventions, moreover, that counter-Reconstruction began. Although it was not the case in Louisiana. Across the South, the largest single group of Republicans elected to the conventions were native white Southerners, most of whom had been Unionists during the Civil War, building a vocabulary to discredit the conventions and those who served in them. Democratic editors in the Deep South branded these men scalawags. The word probably dates back to an old Scottish village, Scalawag, I think is how you say it, Scalloway, Scalaway. Which 2 centuries before had become synonymous with scraggly, inferior livestock from time immemorial. A Mississippi editor wrote, "Scalawag has referred to inferior milch cows in the cattle markets of Virginia and Kentucky." The word, though, had also come to mean any shiftless scamp or ne'er-do-well on the fringe of human society. In early 1868, an Alabama editor defined scalawag in its new Reconstruction context. Our scalawag is the local leper of the community. Unlike the carpetbagger, he is native, which is so much worse. Once he was respected in his circle, and he could look his neighbor in the face. Now possessed of the itch of office and the salt room of radicalism, he is a mangy dog, slinking through the alleys, haunting the governor's office, defiling with tobacco juice the steps of the Capitol, stretching his lazy carcass in the sun on the square or the benches of the mayor's court. In labeling native-born radicals as scalawags, Southern editors created a powerful and enduring counter-Reconstruction symbol. Scalawags in Louisiana. As elsewhere in the South, most scalawags in Louisiana were the unconditional Unionists of 1861 and 1862. Some of these individuals, such as James Madison Wales, governor during presidential Reconstruction, and James G. Taliaferro, president of the Constitutional Convention of 1867 and 1868, and later Chief Justice of the state Supreme Court, hailed from the upstate cotton region. The majority, though, were products of northern-born and foreign-born communities of New Orleans and southeastern Louisiana. Excuse me. The business, professional, and civil life of antebellum New Orleans had been largely dominated by northern-born migrants and, to a lesser extent, immigrants from Ireland and Germany. With their Yankee and foreign backgrounds, such naturalized Southerners exhibited a worldliness and commercial vision that made them skeptical of succession and its abhorrence. Then, too, they lived and worked in the most cosmopolitan city of the South. Of all proportion to their numbers, such transplanted Yankees and foreigners were Unionists during the war, then Republican scalawags during Reconstruction. One study of 97 New Orleans Unionists, for example, found that more than 81% had been born outside the 11 Confederate states. Wartime Louisiana Governor Michael Hahn had been born in Germany. Free State leader Thomas J. Durant was a native of Pennsylvania. Indeed, the 7 state officials who headed Louisiana's Free State government in 1864, only one was a native Southerner. Unionist scalawags had their greatest influence in Louisiana. In the period from 1862 to 1867, Black politicians dominated the Radical Constitutional Convention of 1867 and 1868. True, scalawags held most of the seats in the state legislature between 1868 and 1877. But legislative majorities did not translate into hegemony. Hegemony, I think. Carpetbaggers controlled the vital levers of state power throughout Radical Reconstruction. The arrival of carpetbaggers. During or shortly after the Civil War, several thousand Northerners migrated into the South. The great majority of these men had served in the Union Army and seen duty in the South. They were men in their 20s and 30s who saw the post-war South as a new frontier, another and better West. They came as cotton planters, businessmen, teachers, lawyers, physicians, and so on. As a group, they were all well educated. Indeed, they were probably the best educated class of men in American politics, a disproportionate number of them having college educations. These northern migrants were a minority, though a very influential minority in the Reconstruction conventions. In late 1867, an Alabama editor coined the word carpetbagger to describe them, a term the New Orleans press quickly adapted. In December 1868, The New Orleans Commercial Bulletin wrote a classic description of the volatile patriots who come from the North to reconstruct the South upon a proper basis. The man with the carpetbag has very little, whereby he may be attached. He is prospecting politically. If he finds a living without capital or labor, he hangs up his carpetbag. But if times are hard or troubles impending, his shirt for superfluity is called in from the wash. His bill, settled or unsettled, offers little impediment, and he may take the evening train. Such northern fellers go through the South to put up constitutional machinery, just as they might be sent out to put up lightning rods or cotton gins. They come as shadows, but they sometimes depart full and well stuffed. Like that of the scalawag, the image of the greedy carpetbagger would be embossed in the history of the era. Carpetbaggers in Louisiana. Union forces occupied New Orleans in May 1862 and remained for the duration of the war. Tens of thousands of federal soldiers, treasury agents, planner leases, and other northern officials lived in the city and its environs during the long occupation. For this reason, carpetbaggers were more numerous and more powerful in Louisiana than in any other southern state. Both Louisiana governors under Radical Reconstruction, Henry Clay Warmoth, 1868 to 1873, and William Pitt Kellogg, 1873 to 1877, were carpetbaggers. The state elected 3 U.S. senators in the Radical years, all carpetbaggers. 10 of the 13 congressmen sent to the U.S. House of Representatives in the period were carpetbaggers. Even though Northerners were always a small minority in the state legislature, the Speaker of the House for most of the period was a carpetbagger. Then, too, carpetbaggers dominated the large federal bureaucracy concentrated in New Orleans. The Custom House, the Mint, the Post Office, the Land Office, Internal Revenue Office, and the Fifth Circuit Court. Control of the federal bureaucracy meant jobs for Republicans, always at a premium because white Democrats controlled the great bulk of the state's land and business wealth. Indeed, in the 1870s, federal job holders known as the Custom House Ring played a decisive role in state politics, driving Governor Warmoth from office and paving the way for one of their own, William Pitt Kellogg, a former collector of the Port of New Orleans, to become governor. In fact, the incessant infighting among Louisiana carpetbaggers in the 1870s played an important role in undermining Reconstruction in the state and the region. Well, hope y'all enjoyed that. But carpetbagger means like somebody running for office who is not from here. That's kind of what a carpetbagger is. They run for political office and they know nothing about the area. They're not from here or anything. That's a carpetbagger. And but during the Civil War, you know, I had relatives that fought on both sides. My Crawford ancestors fought for North and South. My Ray ancestors fought for the South. my Wheeler ancestors fought for the South. But it was like Democrats went north, Republicans came south, and I guess my ancestors weren't Republicans at the time, those that fought for the South. But I am glad that, I'm kind of glad that Republicans have control of Alabama. All right. See you back soon. Hope you enjoyed.